Are you excited? Were you invited to the celebration? I mean, it is Friday night. It's the perfect night to throw a party. Well, Casey, are you talking about the record-breaking audience for the NHL last night? No. Who cares about the NHL? Matter of fact, to hell with the NHL. They will be lucky if I ever give free publicity to that dump of a league again. Apparently, the NHL has launched a war against content creators. I didn't know about it until one of my channel members, Spence, told me about it. I was complaining in the channel Discord server about the NHL refusing to allow me to use one of their clips. Come to find out, the NHL doesn't allow any content creator to use their clip, and they wonder why no one gives a shit about their league. As much as I hate the WNBA dump, as much as I cannot stand pretend basketball, I will give the WNBA credit for one thing. They are at least smart enough to realize that there is no such thing as bad publicity. Even if someone is criticizing your league, at least they're talking about it. But anyway, there is a huge celebration going on tonight. Headline at Front Office Sports. Unrivaled draws their biggest ratings of the season. I told you this would happen! People just needed time to embrace these elite athletes. Break up the cucumber. Give me a shot of Don's lemons. These pretenders have become stars. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes! Now that Unrivaled is a huge success, I'm sure some of you guys feel like you're missing out. I'm sure you're feeling left out because you were not invited to the Butt Bongo celebration. So let Uncle Casey show you exactly what you're missing by not watching pretend basketball. A couple of weeks ago, two teams of pretenders. They were playing in a dimly lit studio in South Florida. I don't know the team names. It's kind of hard to tell with this league. Judging by the video footage, it was either the Mist or the Phantom, because there were plenty of missed shots and phantom layups. These elite athletes, they are either incredibly unathletic or there is a ghost in the studio blocking their shots. Either way, it's some of the worst basketball I have ever seen. Watch it for yourself.
You're picking up the ball. Edwards with the hustle. She was great in the first half in the opener at 8 points. Carrington.
I know it's funny. I know it can be entertaining watching the reaction of these elite athletes as they are dumbfounded. How'd that not go in? I even used a ladder and I still can't put the miniature ball in the hole. I know it's entertaining for a moment, but imagine watching 40 minutes of that. Imagine sitting on your couch for 90 minutes, watching unlikable players like DJ Carrington barely able to hit the bottom of the backboard as they attempt a layup. After about 5 minutes, it's no longer entertaining, it's unwatchable. When it comes to sports, even quasi-professional sports like Unrivaled, people want to see the best of the best compete. Unrivaled was supposed to feature the best women's basketball players in the world. Problem is, the handful of women that qualify as the best, they wanted no part of this steaming turd. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel is in the description below. This morning on the second channel, talked about PK Subban at ESPN decimating the NBA. Been a rough week for Alice Silver and his entitled players. Not only was the All-Star game an unmitigated disaster, the exhibition that the NHL presented last night, it outdrew the NBA Finals. Just think about that. For starters, it took 3 days to get ratings for the All-Star game in the NBA, while ratings for the NHL, they were released in less than 24 hours. I wonder why. On paper, the game last night in the NHL, it was absolutely meaningless. Outside of pride, not the gay pride, Outside of playing for pride in their country, that game meant nothing. Yet the combined audience in the United States and Canada for the NHL, it was larger than any game in the NBA Finals since 2019. It's great for the NHL, disastrous for the NBA, so haven't already, head over to the second channel and subscribe. Last week, Unrivaled completed their barely anticipated one-on-one tournament. Unlike the NHL, who presented a tournament that people actually wanted to watch, no one asked for this tournament from Unrivaled. They can't get people to watch pretend basketball when there are 10 unknown players on the court. They can't get people to watch when there's 6 unknowns on the court. Why in the hell would people be interested in watching 2 unknowns competing head-to-head? Before the championship game, some were claiming that this tournament was struggling because Angel Reese was not involved. Why didn't Angel Reese compete? If she was involved, this tournament would have drawn millions. Angel Reese is a huge star! I don't know why Angel Reese didn't compete in this one-on-one tournament. If I had to guess, it's because she lacked confidence in her ability to make shots. If you have ever seen Angel Reese attempt to make layups, you know why. Championship game. It featured Nafisha Collier against Aaliyah Edwards. Who and who? Nafisha Collier, she is one of the founders of this dump. She believes that WNBA players should be paid what they are worth. Now, I happen to agree with Nafisha Collier. I think WNBA players should be paid based on their value. Since the WNBA lost $50 million last season, the players, they should be paying to play. They should be sent an invoice every 2 weeks instead of a paycheck. Since the players are running Unrivaled into bankruptcy, the winner of this tournament, they did not receive some doofus trophy. Instead, Nafisha Collier, she received $200,000 for winning this tournament, also known as career earnings in the WNBA. How many people tuned in to see Nafisha Collier become a WNBA millionaire? 377,000 friends and family tuned in to see this lifetime achievement. That is what Unrivaled is calling success. 377,000 viewers. Now, for comparison purposes, the WNBA was averaging around 500,000 in 2023 before Caitlin Clark entered the dump. For years, Teen Mom on MTV, it has been at risk of cancellation because they were averaging around 350,000 viewers. For damn near everything else on a major cable network, 377,000, that would be considered huge embarrassing failure. For Unrivaled, it's called unrivaled success. The entire tournament averaged 179,000 viewers, which isn't far from Unrivaled season average of 190,000. Like I told you guys last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, when we talked about Unrivaled last, this is not sustainable. Now, the WNBA, they can afford to be a huge embarrassing failure. It's easy to afford failure when you're being subsidized by a league that's receiving billions of dollars every year from the television networks. At minimum, the WNBA is a tax write-off for the NBA. Basically, it's a charity. Sure, NBA owners, they will complain every once in a while when the dump loses more than their usual average of $10 million a season, but Adam Silver, he will never shut down the WNBA because he doesn't want the heat and the criticism from the mainstream media. Unrivaled doesn't have that luxury. This league is being backed by TNT and a group of investors. Key word, investors. How many investors do you know that don't expect a return on their investment? Besides Adam Silver in the NBA, I can't think of any investor that does not expect a return. I don't know the financials for Unrivaled because they haven't released them. I doubt they ever will because, if I had to guess, this dump is losing millions and millions of dollars. There is no way this league is profitable. The WNBA can't turn a profit, and their players are making minimum wage. They might only sell dozens of tickets, but at least they're selling tickets. The studio where Unrivaled is filmed, it seats around 800 people. If by some miracle they actually sell out a game, that means Unrivaled is only making $800 on ticket sales. All the while, they are handing out six-figure salaries to their players. Angel Reese is making $250,000 with Unrivaled, which is great for Angel Reese and her family, good for her, but how much revenue is she generating? How many tickets has Angel Reese sold? How much merchandise is she selling? How many people are watching Unrivaled, waiting with anticipation to see Angel Reese miss another layup? According to their ratings, it's around 190,000. That is nowhere near enough to make this league profitable. Caitlin Clark was averaging over 1 million viewers last year. She was selling out games across the country. And the WNBA still lost $50 million. This is a classic case of overvaluing your product. This is very common with small businesses. They stumble upon minor success. They think they've made it. They start investing more and more into the business, and they fail to realize that their business model is not sustainable. I know it sounds harsh. I know the feminist will accuse me of being a misogynist. He hates women. He's a meanie. I know it sounds harsh, but the truth often does. And the truth is, women's basketball is not popular. It's damn sure not popular enough to support 2 leagues. Hell, they can't even support 1 league. But KC women's college basketball is drawing millions this season. Oh, yeah? Where? Outside of a couple of games, where are these millions of viewers? Have you noticed you have barely heard anything in the mainstream media about women's college basketball this season? Try to find ratings for a random game on ESPN. I'm not talking about Juju Watkins. I'm not talking about the 1 or 2 games that performed well. Try to find ratings for a random game on a Tuesday night on ESPN. You're not going to find them. Why? Because no one is watching, so they won't release them. TNT will try again next season with Unrivaled. They have invested too much money to give up after 1 season, but when this league is a huge embarrassing failure next year, and it will be, I think TNT is going to shut it down. They're not going to keep investing millions of dollars. They're not going to keep handing out 6-figure salaries to players who are not capable of drawing an audience. Give me your thoughts on this. Unrivaled celebrates their best ratings of the season. Success for Unrivaled is considered failure for damn near everything else on television. Is this sustainable? Will TNT keep this league alive? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.